In today's living room session, I'm sitting down with Davina Biggins to talk about exclusive travel, fully curated, organized from start to finish, and designed to feel completely effortless. Hi, and welcome to another living room session by Vidal. Today, I'm sitting here with Davina Biggins from Davina Biggins. Davina, you are the face of the brand, the founder, CEO, and the fellow mother. So thank you so much for making the time and being here today. I really want to dive into your story on how you became a person who curates exceptional travel for your clients. But first of all, I want to get into Davina Biggins, the brand, a little bit before we go into Davina Biggins, the founder. So tell us a bit more about what it is you do.
Sure. Thank you for having me. Delighted to be here. So I'm the founder of a luxury travel consultancy. I design tailor-made experiences for discerning travelers. My clients are couples, families, multi-generational groups, and what really links them is that travel for them is part of their lifestyle. They take multiple trips annually, from short weekend breaks to longer family trips. They really cherish those moments and those memories that they're spending with each other. And they're looking for enriching experiences, taking them away from the norm of their everyday life.
Yeah. So you just thinking about, travel in itself. When I was younger, obviously, it was all about going into a travel agency and booking a trip through them. That in itself was already a whole trip. Then obviously the whole digitalization came and everybody booked their trips online. And it seemed like there's really no need for travel agencies anymore. Obviously, we see with you that there are people who really value having someone to go to when they're looking to create a memorable experience. But what it is you think really differentiates you from the ability to now just use ChatGPT to book an itinerary for them and, book the whole trip out essentially?
Yeah, so travel planning is overwhelming. Like you said, there's a multitude of ways that you can book your trip. You can do it yourself online. You can go into a travel agency, ChatGPT. There's just so many possibilities and options, but I like to say that I cut through that. I'm that breath of fresh air when you've had multiple tabs open up on your computer. You're speaking to someone, they say, oh, you should go there. You hear about something else and you're just completely
Kind of
overwhelmed.
overwhelming.
Exactly. So you need like that advocate. And I listen to what my clients want and I think about what really would match them, what would light them up. And you just can't get that. You can't get that from ChatGPT. They don't really know you truly. They also don't know what you don't like, because that's a really crucial question that I ask my clients. And so it's that personal touch. You just can't get it from technology, from booking it yourself. Sometimes my clients don't even know where they want to go until I delve deeper. Exactly.
Options.
Yeah.
Interesting. So when we speak about your clients, how do they mostly approach you? Who are your clients and what are they really looking for? Is it oftentimes a whole itinerary, or can it also be, a simple book me a flight or just a hotel, or where should we even go?
Yeah, so I work with a variety of clients with different needs. Because of my kind of connections with hotels and as a Virtuoso member, I get exclusive amenities for hotels. So I have some clients who know exactly where they want to go. They want to go to that hotel. And through my partnerships, I can get them exclusive rates, complimentary breakfast, hotel credits. So all these lovely perks that they just can't access themselves.
And ChatGPT will handle
And
that.
ChatGPT. And even, exactly, booking.com. Those are the relationships that I've really curated. And then there's clients who want tailor-made trips, so multi-stop itineraries, or even if it's a one-stop, a one location, it's finding their flight, getting the transfer, making sure their child car seat's there, making sure the hotel knows about dietary requirements, knowing the mobility needs. Even if it's a one-stop destination, there's still value in working with an expert who knows what you need.
Right. And what you offer, you call it the tailor-made approach that goes all the way. So you are there obviously planning the whole trip, but what happens once they go on the trip and afterwards?
So I'm still there for them, even when they're in destination. They have me on 24/7 WhatsApp. And afterwards, I always like to have a debriefing call with them, just finding out how the trip went, so that we can work together for the next trip and knowing kind of, what they liked, what worked, what didn't work. So yeah, and even when they're not traveling, there's multiple touch points where I like to keep in touch with my clients. So I know their birthdays, their anniversaries, milestone dates, Christmas, I'm always keeping in touch with them.
Right. So it's not just a one-off. You work with your clients usually on multiple trips over a period of time, I assume.
Yeah, and they definitely value my work not as like a transaction. We know each other. I get to know their tastes, and for me, it's the clients who don't want it transactional, who kind of like work best with me.
Right. How do you find your clients?
Social media actually has been really beneficial for me.
Or how do they find you, I should say?
Yeah, yes, true. Social media has been really beneficial, definitely. Instagram, and we were saying earlier, Instagram lends itself to the beautiful destinations and imagery. But growing and going forwards, I definitely want to be found through a referral route because, my best clients, their friends, their families, they're the ones who also value working with a travel expert. So growing by referral is where I ultimately want to be.
And do you work with anyone, or are you quite selective when you choose your clients? I mean, at the moment, it's literally just you. So obviously, I think you're probably you have a capacity of how many people you can take on or how many clients. So how do you choose who you work with?
So I always have a call, or if possible, in-person meeting with my clients or potential clients, because it's a two-way process.
Yeah.
So my ideal clients want to work with me. They want me to maximise their investment in their travel, and they also need to understand how I work.
Right.
So the beginning process is as much me learning about them as them learning about me.
You.
And sometimes people just
sometimes
people just decide that no, they're happier to book it themselves, and that's fine.
Right. Let's maybe also talk a bit about your affiliation with Cartology Travel and what it brings to your business or to your clients. So how do you benefit from them, and what offers do you get through being part of that affiliation?
So Cartology are my wonderful host agency. So from a back-end perspective, they handle supply invoicing, commission invoicing, kind of taking of payments. So that's all kind of done for me. And then one of the great benefits is that we're Virtuoso members. So that means that I can offer my clients exclusive benefits, exclusive perks and rates. And that's something that being part of a really highly regarded agency that offers you.
So do you think going forward that is the way to keep going through Cartology, or is that something you would want to outsource and kind of build on your own when you think about expanding your business?
No, so I'm really happy with Cartology. It's also a boutique agency, so there's about 20 agents around the world. And one, I guess, intangible asset from this all is the amount of knowledge and the breadth within our team. So with other agents based in the US, also South Africa, South America, if I don't know a destination, there's a high chance that someone else in the team will know. And we have weekly meetings, we share hotels that we've just recently visited. So the amount of knowledge and little black book contacts amongst the team is really valuable.
So it's almost like a community you can reach back to if there's anything you don't know or you need to know or get help with, I assume, right? So that's really nice to have, actually. I mean, I'm a person who absolutely hates booking travel. I love going on trips and I love them being perfect. I don't like to do the nitty-gritty work behind it, so it's usually my husband who does that. But yeah, I think for me, that sounds really good.
I'll speak to him later.
Not having to do the work, so that's really nice. I do want to talk about you, Davina Biggins, as the founder, not really the brand, but how you got started in the world of travel. What made you take the leap and start your own business?
So my journey hasn't been conventional. I'm a qualified chartered accountant. I spent many years in the corporate world. But actually, I found there's lots of transferable skills that I've been able to bring into my current career. So I'm highly organised, I'm professional, attention to detail, client relationships. All of that actually is really useful and valuable in what I do now. And ultimately, I wanted to do something that I was just really passionate about. And I felt I had the skills that I could bring to the table. And it's something that I love learning about as well. And when you're learning and you're doing something you love every day, I think that's just the best thing. Yeah,
definitely. So was there, obviously you are still passionate about traveling, that's your world, but did you see a specific gap in the industry that made you think, maybe this is what I should be doing, this is how I could make it better? Was there anything specific that comes to mind?
it's that personal touch again. You can go into a high street agency, but again, it's a bit transactional. You might go in to book, that one big trip, and then the next trips you're doing by yourself. I wanted to be someone who's there for my clients kind of through their lives. So, starting from a couple's trip to their honeymoon, their first family holiday abroad, and milestone moments with, grandparents and things like that. I have a long-term vision for working with my clients. And yeah, I felt that was a really good business model.
Absolutely. I think so too. You're also a mother of two. How do you juggle work-life balance and being there for your kids? I know as another female founder, obviously it's amazing to have the flexibility with your time. You can schedule your own time. I'm not saying it's less work, but I think it all comes down to a lot of time management. So what is your secret weapon when it comes to managing, work-life balance?
Definitely still discovering it, but I really enjoy the flexibility. So just yesterday, we had an event at school, so I had to be there at 2:00, which was fine. I managed my client calls kind of earlier in the day. And actually, my clients are worldwide. So I have a lot of US clients, which means that I can almost work, partway through the day, deal with the kids, pick up their dinner. After bedtime, it's time to log on and work with my US clients. So actually, how I work also lends itself to kind of working around flexible hours.
Right. So when you first started Davina Biggins, I assume starting a new business from scratch, it comes with hurdles, it comes with challenges. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced when starting your venture?
I think definitely being a newcomer to the industry, I suffered and probably still suffer from imposter syndrome. There's a lot of established players in the industry, people who've been in the industry since their very first career. And knowing where I fitted into that, and I think really believing in myself and believing my worth and my value is kind of what's kept me going.
Yeah. Would you describe yourself as a rather shy person, or you were happily to go out and speak to people about what it is that you're starting your new venture, or was it more like, oh, how do I talk about it?
I'm probably naturally quite shy, but because I'm doing something that I really am passionate about and that I want to share the joy and things like that, I think that makes me open up about it more. And a lot of the time when I speak to clients or other agents and I talk about my journey and talk about how I'm relatively new into the industry, they all say my passion truly shines through. They also say they can't believe that I was an accountant. But yeah,
it's quite two different worlds, isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, I think it's when I started first, just being in the center and being able to say, I'm a female founder and this is what I do. Sometimes very challenging, but I think if we don't really talk about it to whoever is willing to listen, I think it's going to be really hard. And then just like you said, if you're really passionate about something, it just comes a lot easier than it does when you do something that you're maybe not super passionate about.
Yeah.
So when starting a business, did you have a specific person that really helped you out, someone you really looked up to that you could ask for help when starting your business?
I've had quite a few fellow agents who I kind of view as mentors. Also within Cartology, the founders have really helped me set up my business and kind of work out the direction that I want to go in. I'd say the travel industry has been so supportive. fellow agents, we're not competitors. We've each got, our own way that we work, our own set of clients, and actually we all want each other to do well. I've been really fortunate to join a group called the Travel Sisterhood, which is a collective of female luxury agents. And we just bring each other up. We make each other look like rock stars because someone will know that, the general manager of the hotel, and then the other person will be able to get their client into that last room. And we're all supporting each other. We're all in it together. And when you make, positive changes to the industry and make each other look good, I think that's just the best way.
Yeah, that's true. Having the support of others is always a good way to start, definitely.
Yeah.
When thinking of traditional travel agencies, I mean, I walk down the high street here, there's like 3 to 4 offices of trail finders with hundreds of people in it being really busy on their computer. Do you feel like there's still a need for travel agencies in the old-fashioned way? To be honest, I don't really know what you would call trail finders, but it is massive still. Are people really still using agencies to maybe not book luxury travels?
I think, almost in the way that each agent has their own set of clients, there's clients for different types of ways to book travel. Right. So there are people who will always be booking online on an online travel agency. They don't want to go into person. Yeah. They're happy to book it themselves. There'll be the people who want a physical brochure and want to sit down in front of someone in an established, brick and mortar store, and that serves them as well. And then there are people who I work with who maybe it's a particular generation and a particular mindset where they feel they want to be working with me or like a sole point of contact. I know them, they know me, and it's that knowledge of each other that we keep building on. Yeah. So I think there's a way of booking travel for everyone, basically.
What is next for Davina Biggins, you think?
So I definitely want to keep my consultancy boutique. I want to know my clients, know their trips, know where they've been. But I think there's room for growth in the team. So having a dedicated concierge who can really, spend their time getting my clients' reservations for the dining and filling their days with experiences and things like that. Potentially also space for a second travel designer. Okay. Just so that I can just increase the client base a little bit more whilst keeping it niche and boutique at the same time.
So when you say you like to know your clients, how often do you typically meet with them before booking? Or what's the process there really? How do you really get to know them in the initial stage?
So every new inquiry begins with either a phone call, video call, or in person. I won't take on any new inquiries without speaking to someone, just because people can write something down in an email, send you a message, but until you actually speak to them and understand what they're looking for, I think that's the most critical part. It is different, of course, for hotel only, where they're just specifically, they know what they want. And that face-to-face or in-person conversation is where you can see their eyes light up when you mention something, or you can see, a little hesitation when you mention something else. And again, it's these nuances that you don't get from a booking site or a high street agency where you've just walked in for the first time and they don't really know you. Yeah, it's really understanding each other.
Yeah. So you do want to grow a bit, but you want to keep it, personal.
Yes.
Keep that personal touch with your clients. And I think that really makes your business what it is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So lastly, I think I love to talk about community and what community means to you. I think we briefly touched on that within the Cartology group of agents that you've met, and it really does feel like a community and you really benefited from it. So what do you think is something really unique about Videl? What made you reach out to me in the first place?
Female founders, we've talked already about kind of being supported in a network, fellow mothers, other females. There's something magical, I think, when women get together. Yeah. You can have a group of women together who don't know each other, but through some form of connection, so for example, being a founder, being on that entrepreneur journey, the energy and the noise in the room is magical, isn't it? So being able to be part of a group with like-minded women, sharing ideas even from different industries.
So I really appreciated you reaching out and connecting with you. It was really inspiring hearing your story, especially from a fellow mother who understands what it's like to build a business, having little kids running around. But just like you said, I think it's so important that we come together as women and we inspire each other. We hopefully can benefit from each other's journey and what we've gone through and can share that. And I think that's really powerful and inspirational. And I had a last question for you. What was one of the most extraordinary trip you've ever had to plan for someone?
So I had quite a different client brief in terms of she wanted to plan a trip to celebrate her husband's birthday, but she also just didn't really want to get involved. And obviously it was a surprise for him. So she said, just plan me something
Okay.
within these parameters. And they went to Ibiza. It was a long weekend away for them, which was really valuable for them because I knew they had little children. So,
Right.
any time away from the kids is wonderful. And so I made sure I just planned their whole trip in terms of, making sure they had relaxing time during the day, planning some lovely dinners, places for sunset drinks. Like they literally did not
So
have
she had
to.
literally no input.
They
Like
had
she didn't
no
want to be
input,
involved. Interesting.
exactly. Surprise for him, but it was exactly what they needed. And I also kind of just put in a few red herrings for them because they didn't know where they were going until they were kind of basically at the airport.
Oh, wow.
Because I had a driver pick them up from their house. So
With
again,
tickets and all.
yeah, again, they didn't see the tickets until they actually got to the airport. And I'd said to pack hiking shoes, which probably in hindsight was not the best thing for them in terms of luggage, but that really threw them. And I said, pack a snorkel. So they were really, had no idea where they were going. But I think just, the element of surprise and again, when you know someone, and I knew how much just time together would be really valuable for them. And I knew their interests and, they love food and just chilling by the beach, sunset drinks. It was, yeah. The feedback that I got from that was it was more magical and better than they could have planned. And that really made,
That's really the feedback you're looking for, isn't
exactly.
it? I mean, that's really cool because it gave you the freedom on really planning a trip, but
Yeah.
also, it tells a lot about how much they trusted you with that.
Yes, yeah.
With booking a trip and that your service is just that good. That you
Yeah,
just
it
go
was
blindly in it, really.
Yeah, no, it was really validating for
Yeah,
me.
absolutely.
It was a really fun trip to plan with my creativity, but also, yeah, just knowing that they have full trust in me and just shows that kind of our relationship that we've developed is like really paying off and working well for both of us.
Maybe just one more question. When thinking of luxury travel, it's very unique. It's very individual. Obviously, we're also speaking about very different types of budgets, even within the luxury travel. What was one of the most expensive trips, or how much was the most expensive trip you've planned for someone?
So I'm not really going to fully disclose details, but it was by nature of it, it was a multi-generational group, so quite a lot of family members, and it was a special villa in Italy for a 70th birthday.
Okay, so that
It was,
sounds like a fun,
yes.
but also pricey trip. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciated you sharing your story and being in the living room with me. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank